Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the studios of Grafton Community Television here at 26 Providence Road. I have two guests in studio with me today, and they are Mitch Gaffney. He's the general manager of MJ's Market, and next to him is George Morales. He's the head grower. And the topic today is cannabis and cannabis distribution, right?
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited because I don't know anything about cannabis. I don't know anything about distribution. I do have a joke I want to get out of the way.
Hit me.
Are you worried that some little old lady's going to come to MJ's Market looking for milk and bread and orange juice?
So actually, the guy up the street at the gas station right around the corner said quite a few people have come in asking about the new farmer's market going into town. So
And that's what they thought it
sounds
was?
like there's a little bit of confusion.
I want to go
around
buy a
who we
lottery
are.
ticket. I'm going up. So we'll put that off the table.
Yeah,
That doesn't-
no lottery tickets, but plenty of other fun to be had in our store.
So you guys are located up near the train station on Route 30, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're right next to the train
In the
station.
industrial park?
Yep.
Great location, I'm assuming.
It's a very good location. Hope to do a lot of events in the future for the town and a lot of the different groups that we're excited to partner with and promote. Very big into the community, into education, to supporting the arts, and we'll certainly get into a lot of that as we continue to talk through everything today.
So was the search specifically for that location because of its kind of off the beaten path?
There was a few things that attracted us to the town of Grafton. One is the location, pretty central in the state, offset a little bit to where the population density is. The town's great in the fact that we're able to do a lot with that location. It's a 15,000 square foot building. We have our retail there, and we have plans to open our medical treatment center as well as our cultivation and manufacturing under the same roof, which is something that not all towns allow for. So the town of Grafton specifically has allowed us to do that, and it puts us in a really great position to do a lot of really unique things with our space.
Okay. So George, I'm assuming your background is in agriculture somehow?
Yep, agriculture and manufacturing for cannabis on a commercial scale.
Okay.
So that's my specialty. So I've been helping to build out the whole production facility in the back end. So we've been designing that the whole time we've been getting going the dispensary front. So we got final design development finished in about June of this year. So we submitted all our permitting and stuff for that. So we've gotten that rolling. The idea was to first get the dispensary open and establish the business, and then go hard into making our own products and stuff like that.
So is there anything unique to cultivating cannabis as opposed to growing green beans or corn or?
Oh yeah, there's many things that are unique. Yeah, you know, the list is long. I don't know where exactly to start, but
We get all the time in the world.
you know, it's a very finicky crop. You know, I wouldn't say it's as easy as most crops to grow. It requires a unique set of abilities, I would say, to you know, to cultivate. I'm the only one. I'm losing it.
It's okay. Take your time.
Yeah. No
So, you know, the head grower wears many hats. You
Yeah.
know, you don't necessarily just need to know how to grow agriculture. You need to know many different things, from, you know, process controls to, you know, how to water plants with the correct nutrients and all stuff like that. So we've tried to specialize everything to make it most optimized and efficient, and try to make it so that our growers don't have to do as much work. And
You should see what his notebook looks like. He's got all sorts of calculations, figuring out exactly what nutrients for the water, for each plant. I mean, everything in that grow space is
Right.
controlled and
Very
dialed in.
specific.
You kind of took the
calculated.
words out of my mouth, because my next question was going to be, so is it like grandma's recipe book? And you're just flipping through 3x5 cards looking for just that right
every
mix?
different strain of cannabis is very unique in what kind of catering you have to do to it, you know?
Right, right. So if I was in the facility right now and we were going on a tour, where would be the first point of security that I would be exposed to? Or
Before you even come into the building,
Okay.
We basically have a man trap before you're able to access the facility. And so that's to make sure that we're checking IDs, making sure access to our facility is 21, that we're following all the rules. If you were someone who was going to get a tour beyond just entrance to our normal retail space, we'd give you a visitor badge, they'd check your ID, and you're basically led into the facility, tied into one of our employees. So if you're going to access anything outside of the main retail area, anything that's considered a limited access area is how the state defines it, you would need that visitor badge, and you would need your employee escort to come with you to those areas. Right now, because we are still building out a lot, there's not a ton to show. A lot of it's still under construction. They were just laying cement earlier today. So, you know, we can show you some of our corporate offices. There's actually a viewing window from our corporate conference room that'll go back into that grow space eventually, so you'll be able to see into some of the plants right from our corporate space. Eventually, we do plan on doing things like offering tours where you'll actually be able to come in and see how the plant is grown, the different stages from its vegetative state through its life cycle, see into some of our manufacturing rooms. We won't be able to let you into those rooms to protect the plant and the products that we're trying to create, but the idea is we'll offer these tours and focus in on the education piece for consumers and guests that want to further their education around cannabis on how it's grown, what that process looks like, and beyond that, what the process to do extractions, pulling out certain oils, and infusion, putting those oils back into different edible products or different, MIPs is what they're called, MIPs, marijuana infused products that are then sold within that retail space.
So in your retail space, is there security, for example, your sales staff? Do they have to clear security to go to a different part of the building, or are they excluded, or?
We have access badges.
Okay.
So, RFID, anywhere that they have access to, that badge will work, and they can scan into that area.
Right. So it's pretty tight.
It is, yeah. So an example is our cashiers don't have access to our fulfillment room, right? Fulfillment is where all our product in our inventory is stored during the day. It'll come out of a window once an order is ready, and the cashier will then take it to their register to complete the transaction. That cashier can't just walk into that fulfillment room. Their job duties doesn't align with them being in that room. There's no reason for them to be in that room. So their access card would just say no when they, try to tap and enter that door.
Sure.
So very laid out, very high levels of security from access controls like we're speaking to, video management systems. We constantly have a security guard on staff if our staff is present. There's a security officer there as well. So very high focus and attention on the security piece for what we're doing.
And that ties into licensing too. Like if you to go into different spaces from retail to cultivation, you need a different license for that. And that would also tie back into the management system where like you wouldn't be able to scan through that door if you didn't have that license for that area, stuff like that.
So when the seed goes in the soil,
Yep.
to the time you guys harvest, what's the average length?
So average production wouldn't go from seed. What we would typically do is when we
See, I
first
told you I
start.
didn't know anything about it.
They do say seed to sale, right?
Okay.
That's what
All right.
they say, but it's
When you first start up the production facility, you would start from seed and you would grow up your plants into mother plants and then you would clone off of them. So it would be a little bit longer of a process than your average production time frame. So like typically it's 2 weeks for clone, 2 to 3 weeks for vegetative growth, and then from vegetative growth you put it into flowering. And that can be anywhere from 8 to 9 weeks. So, and that's just the growing time, You have to do that all those weeks and then chop it down, harvest it, dry it, cure it, package it, test it, and send it out to the public. So it could be anywhere from, 16 to 20 weeks before from clone to consumer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because leading up to that point, when you said like 6 to 8 weeks, I thought that's not very long.
Yeah.
But then I didn't take into account the drying process, and so it's almost like the winemaking process in a way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're drying it, they're letting it age, but it basically
It's the
just
same
kinda-
idea.
Yeah.
We dry it, and then that's the initial moisture deprivation. You take all the moisture out of the plant down to about like 11 to 13%. And then once you hit that point, then you can trim it and package it for bulk, and then we cure it. So you would keep it in a curing barrel and burp it once a day for a few weeks until it's to that.
great terms.
Your babies, yeah.
Yeah, until it's to the point where you feel comfortable where it's the quality that you want to give to
Right.
the consumer.
So what part of the facility is fully operational and?
Right now, it's the retail dispensary. So
Okay.
it's adult use, 21 plus retail dispensary. A little bit different than your average dispensary. I always say many dispensaries in the marketplace today are a room full of displays. There's a row of cash registers at the front. You kind of make your way up to the register and they hand you a menu and ask you what you want. In our store, it's a little bit different than that. We have what we call connoisseurs, not bud tenders. Very intentional word, cannabis connoisseur. A connoisseur of cannabis, someone who's going to be able to answer questions, have conversations, and guide you to the products that are going to best suit you and your needs. So whether you're a very educated consumer and you know exactly what you want, they have the ability to pull product off the shelves, actually open up some flower and show it to you. We have magnifying glasses so you can really make your own evaluation. If you're not the most educated consumer and you're looking for some guidance, they're there to really understand your habits around cannabis or your needs for cannabis consumption, where cannabis may be able to help you improve your life and achieve your higher purpose.
Right.
And then they'll point you to the products that should best answer those needs. We've got educational material within our store as well. One of the things that we worked on together that we're really proud of is our, we call it our marijuana fundamentals. It's a consumer education guide that we have in our store, and at the back there's a journal where you're able to list the different products that you've tried. There's a few different spaces to list, like your activation time, how long it took for it to really hit you, the dosage that you took, and so you can really understand for yourself as an individual what works for you and what products best suit the needs that you have and where cannabis can best improve your life.
Right. So let's go through the process a little bit. So Bill in
Sure.
the booth arrives at the facility.
Yeah.
First thing he has to do is, excuse me, he has to show ID to show that he's over 21.
He does. So he'll be greeted by a smiling face from behind a plexiglass window. Our security guard will confirm that he's of age and can enter into our facility. Once that's the case, he comes in.
And he's on the retail floor.
He's on the retail floor. As soon
Okay.
as you walk in that door, what you'll actually see in front of you is a big stage. Our glowing faces are actually up there right now. It's a little bit of a picture wall, right, to come in and get some pictures on the stage. There's a nice chair. From there, if you turn to your right, you'll see a big, almost like a jewelry display. A big island full of cannabis and cannabis products. Our connoisseurs, as I spoke to before, are in that area, ready and waiting for consumers to come in and to have those conversations. They'll get you checked in and help you find what you're looking for.
So he's a little bit nervous. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to look at. He doesn't know what to ask. He
Yeah.
goes right up to the counter and says, help.
Awesome.
And they'll take him by the hand and,
They will take them by the
Kinda-
hand and guide them. You know,
okay.
have you used cannabis before?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have, what have you used it for? If you haven't, well, what motivated you to come in today? What's got your interest? You know, are there different, a lot of the more common issues, things like sleep management, pain management, anxiety, digestive issues, depression, right? There's all sorts of things that cannabis really can help benefit in an individual's life. And so they're just going to ask some questions to understand why you came in, right? What are you trying to address? If you're just trying to have fun, that's awesome. We can show you how to do that too.
Right.
But the reality is, for most consumers, they're trying to address something with their consumption. So it's understanding you as an individual and why you came in, and they'll help guide you to the products that should answer those problems or
Right,
questions.
right. So I'll break it down, your clientele, what percentage is the connoisseur, what percentage is the first timer like Bill, let's
Lately,
say?
it's been a lot of more first timers, folks that need a little bit more guidance, and that's awesome. That's why we're here. I had someone comment on our Facebook the other day that they're a 70-year-old man, and they came into our store, and we've already started to improve their quality of life. And that's truly why we're here and why we're trying to build the business model that we are, and not just see how many orders we can get in a day, but truly increase the quality of life for the guests, for the consumers that come into our store.
So you're part of the building, George. How many plants are you tending to right now?
So we haven't actually got the actual facility up and running yet.
Okay,
We're
all
still in the construction phase.
Okay.
So
Twisting the knife on him. He's ready and itching to grow.
So now that you've revealed that information,
Yep.
where does your product come from?
Right now, it's all wholesale. So we have partners that we went out and selected that we believe produce really high quality products, and we've brought their product into our store for the time being while George is getting the back of the house up and running.
Okay. And how long before you hook them up?
we're hoping about 4 to 6 months will be the construction phase, and then we can go into licensing for the Cannabis Control Commission.
Which explains why you spend so much time out front in the sales floor.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
My left-hand man right now.
All right,
really
okay.
my right hand
That's all
man,
right.
yeah.
You guys came in as a set of bookends. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
So why don't we start with the physical location of the building? What's the address?
13 Centennial Drive in Grafton.
Okay.
Again, right over by the train station in between Route 20 and Route 30.
Okay, and you mentioned you have a Facebook page.
We do.
Okay, other-
MJ's Market. Our Instagram is MJSMKT. We use that hashtag MJSMKT. MJS is in MJ's, MKT is in Market, on pretty much all of our social media posts. We have a Facebook, an Instagram, a YouTube channel. We're on LinkedIn. We have a TikTok. So wherever yourself or the folks within the town want to find us, want to interact with us, we'd love to do so.
So when you guys go to a party, are you the most popular guys there? Because I figure there's two careers. I'm a microbrewery guy, or I run a cannabis facility. Either
I've
way, I
always
figure you're going to
said-
be the most popular guy.
I've always said, other than the guys in Space Force, I probably have the coolest job title.
I would agree with that, yeah.
So,
Well put.
Not too many parties lately. The two of us have been at the store quite a bit.
Yeah.
But certainly it is fun to talk about.
A lot of conversations.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Easy conversation starter for sure.
Sure, okay. So my guests in studio today have been Mitch Gaffney. He's the general manager of MJ's Market here in Grafton, and next to him is George Morales. He's the head grower. He's not growing anything yet, but
Soon.
We'll
pretty
get
soon.
there.
Pretty soon. Thanks for coming in. I enjoyed the chat.
Yeah.
Great.
Appreciate you having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you again. On behalf of everyone here at Grafton Community Television, I'm Bob DeToma. Thank you for watching.